Hey everyone, Dev here, and this is another Laloon video. Taking a look at my attack log over the last couple of days, I have to say, quite frustrating. I've got quite a few 1 and 2 stars here, and you can see I've got 200%ers, which is awesome. I've got a couple of more 1 stars, and the one I just did before with 100%. So Laloon, while it seems to be guaranteed star, if you are half decent, you have to be really sharp when it comes to the high level bases, or else you're going to walk away with a suboptimal raid. Have to say, Laloon tends to be a 1 or a 3. Very rarely have I managed to get a 2, and it usually is a convincing 3 rather than an only just. So what I'm going to do today is just show you a couple of the more successful ones, and then I might actually, if I've got time, show you one that wasn't so successful, so we know what to look for. So our first one up is against a Town Hall 10, fairly advanced Town Hall 10, if not pretty close to being completed. And the key things I'm looking for in this are the position of the air sweepers. This is one critical factor that a lot of people underestimate, is the effect that it has on the loons. Sometimes it will blow them off the path. So taking these out, or at least having some consideration, is very important. The next thing I'm looking for is the position of the air defences, and trying to trace out in my mind exactly where the hounds are going to go. So if I was to drop some hounds attacking this one and then this one, I would know that the hounds would then move past these other defences towards this and this. There is some argument for going in from the west here and taking out this one first, then that one, and then having the hounds split off and go this way. But I'm going to try and go in from this side anyway, because I also want to attempt to take out the queen. And then, of course, loons and minions to clean up. So starting off with the 2 hounds on each air defense, and about half of my loons on each, already encountering some resistance from the air sweeper here. So a haste spell deployed just to get those loons in and taking that out as quickly as possible. You'll note another haste spell going down here. I was trying to get the queen to attack the hound and then have the loons damage her with splash damage. So that was the intention. And of course the Grand Warden in the middle to try and help out with his life aura thingy. As you can see now that the hounds have destroyed and the loons have destroyed that thing, the queen survived, annoyingly. Another thing about this attack is that the queen doesn't get targeted by the loons, and it's intensely frustrating to see them just sail right over the top of her without dropping a thing. Okay, so we've got a few loons up, and here what I've decided to do is freeze that Inferno. And at this point, I know these loons here are going to die. So I take a look at the position of my hound, and I know from here the hound is going to tank for these defenses here. So these loons are effectively now a lost cause. Fortunately, I've got a very large force still up here. These sort of things you think of when you're trying to do your Laloon. Luckily, I've still got my heroes up too, which will become important a bit later on. So, where are we at? Well, we've got the hounds now tanking for that wizard tower. Okay, and then the splash damage starts taking a piece out of the group of loons too. So, important that we get that done as soon as possible. There it goes. And again, a couple of loons have peeled off. Poison spell to try and take out these skeletons. They end up taking out the Grand Warden. And from here, all that's left now is a bit of point defense and that Inferno. So the loons are going to swing around and take out the cannons and the archer tower here. And when the the wizard tower is engaged here, just try and take out these loons, was now the point where I realized I had nothing left. Fortunately, you might have seen I deployed my heroes. They're just doing a good job here sweeping up. And I don't have any of my minions left. They've all met a rather ignominious death at the hands of that Inferno on multi, which is a real threat. But fortunately, I've got both abilities on my heroes left, and the rest is cleanup. So they're quite strong, they're quite big. They'll just pound through that wall, and then the queen uses the ability to take out the Inferno tower. Fortunately, that bomb didn't take out the king. Doesn't really matter. And some pups were weakening off that town hall. So all in all, a rather technical but successful raid there against Mistula. The next one I'm going to show you is another 2-star, and sorry, 3-star, my apologies, and this is against you. All right, so if you are you watching this, I got you, haha. Now this is a fresh Town Hall 11, just like myself. I can tell because they've got the Eagle, but they're trying to upgrade their Expo. A lot of the defences are down. Hasn't even started on the air defences yet. Probably a cardinal sin, to be honest. We've got an Expo over here on the ground. We've got one pointing up. This one is pointing up. But the good thing is, I know I can access this air defense and this Eagle artillery with my heroes. So that's my first job. My second job is to then send in the hounds. Release the hound, Smithers. Right, and then looking for the queen. There she is. Let's take a look at her a bit later on, because we'll use a rather interesting technique to sort her out. Note that there is a big hole in this base, but I wasn't going for that because I knew the Inferno Tower there, and I knew the heroes would come under just a bit too much fire. So you tried to trick me, you, but I'm cleverer than you, aren't I? So heroes get in and take out the Eagle artillery without triggering it, which is an advantage. And we take out the air defense. We take out a few more defenses, which makes life a little easier. Oh, obvious bombs are obvious. Okay, and the king goes down. Queen will eventually go down, but we've got our job done. So now we're attacking from the eastern flank with the first of the hounds, and then the first group of loons going in. The intention was to take out this one and then swing round to the east. To the west. Okay, so bit of rage, bit of haste. Still trying to figure out when the best time to drop the haste is. Now, here is the interesting part. I have dropped a freeze to keep the queen in place, and what you might have noticed is I was taking a skeleton spell with me on this particular raid. Once the queen is frozen, fortunately I've got the Inferno Tower as well, I decided to drop my skeletons in there as well, just to make sure, there she goes, that she ended up being taken out. So quite happy with that result. Popping off the Grand Warden ability, just to give those loons a bit of invulnerability for a while. Second squad going in on that bottom air defense, and then the hounds have obviously pathed their way into that last air defense there. So some rather good wrangling of those hounds. They're tanking, and then eventually the loons will catch up and destroy that air defense and other defenses around. I've still got my minions in tow, so I'll speed up here. Note that the Grand Warden still has a bit of health on him, and he's got quite a long range actually. Now I've held up 7 minions because I know I've got one last defense here. I knew the hound was going to track towards this, and I knew that the archer tower would try to take it out. So once it was engaged on that, I then sent in the minions to outflank that tower, so to speak. And fortunately, we get it down and we get the job done. You'll also note that I'm in Champs 1 now. I'm making a push for Titans. So over the school holidays, I will try to document that journey as well. So a rather large loot bonus. Fantastic. Right, we've got a bit of time, so I'm going to show you the last attack that I did. And again, we're up against a mid to advanced Town Hall 10. Note the positions here. We've got air defense, and Inferno's right behind. So obviously I'm going to try and get a 2-for-1 on my loons and the splash damage there. I've got a sweeper pointing this way and a sweeper pointing this way. Let's try and go in from the south. That way, if I use my rage, we fly into it. But this ends up causing a bit of problems, as you're about to see. The other thing is we've got air defense, and one all the way out here. So my thoughts are this person had all 5 builders busy at one time, which is stupid for reasons I'll go into a bit later on in a different video. It's a rather easy air defense kill, so I'm going to send my king in there, and hopefully he can take out a few more of these buildings as well as he goes. Right, so that's the first job. Easy kill. And then whilst that's happening, I will send in my hounds and loons from the south. Now I went with the loons first, and then the hounds, just to try to get that timing a little better Don't want to have your hounds too exposed. Also, look at that hound drawing out those skeletons. Good stuff. Okay, so that air sweeper is kicked off. Dropping that rage, trying to get the loons in there, but they've been pathed away, which is not ideal. And the loons now eventually catch up, and I'm out of rage, so they're encountering some resistance here. Not good. Alright, so the other loons have peeled off and gone around for the other defenses. And if I don't take out this air defense now, I'm going to be in some serious trouble. Squad. Obviously my hounds went this way, my king didn't finish the job over here, so the loons kept going this way, which is frustrating. But luckily I've still got a freeze, and I've still got a skeleton spell. And I'm going to try and use that to take out this air sweeper and air defense. So there go the hounds. Free spell and skeleton spell. There it is. Right. So I'm looking to upgrade my skeleton spell next after my minions are finished. I'm trying to see if it's actually worth the extra amount of skeletons. As you can see here, they end up distracting the expo just long enough for the hounds and the other skeletons to take out the air defense. And then the sweeper. Oh, random loon just sneaking up there. Okay, so skeleton spell previously I hadn't had much time for, much call for, but after seeing AP use them in a few war attacks just to clean up some corner huts, I got to thinking that perhaps maybe they could be used in a spot if I really needed them. And as you can see in this particular attack, I really did. And we've even got 2 of them left over. So all in all, pretty successful use of the skeleton spell there. Got the 3. Fantastic. Right, so let's take a look now at an attack that didn't go so well for me. This will be the 4th one for the day. And this one, I hope it's this one. We'll just have a look at it anyway. Hopefully it's the one I'm thinking of. Yes, it is. All right. Or is it? Yes, it is. Here I'm thinking Expo with no ammo, Expo with no ammo, and an Inferno with no ammo. I'm in. Yeah, nah. I've got a easy Eagle Artillery kill over here as well. So I honestly went in with this one with a little bit of confidence. I've already seen the result though, 58 and 1 star. So not sure exactly what happened here. Still trying to figure that part out. So the king's gone in, and hopefully hopefully trying to smash that air defense. Didn't quite work, so I sent in the loons and the hounds, and then the warden as well. The issue as I see it was that the queen was still alive, and the queen can be quite a trick to get rid of. See, look, not calling the queen a trick, of course. I probably should have tried to freeze a little bit earlier, and just ended up wasting my rage spell there as well. So pretty poor timing for me, pretty poor placement of my spells. There's another one just for good measure. Yeah, let's get in there. And popping the warden's ability, trying to get that queen down with splash damage. But as I said before, it's quite frustrating how the loons just go straight over the top of her without even dropping anything. So all in all, the high amount of loot on this particular base, I was quite disappointed with the end result. I was really hoping to roll this one completely. Also, throwing the minions in against the archer towers with no meat shield is probably a bad idea as well. That queen's still going to town, so you can see exactly what's happening. If you don't take out that queen, you're going to have a really bad time as well. So all in all, I got a little bit of loot, got a bit of dark, which is good. So I did make a profit, but really, if you have a look at what I left behind, I really should have done better here. Oh, Dev, don't be so hard on yourself. Well, somebody has to be. Right, team, I'm approaching the end of my time here, close to 15 minutes. Things are ticking over quite well in my base as well. I've now got 2 max Teslas. Yeah, look at that. Okay, just the thing to take out those pesky minions. And I've got 2 air defenses at max now, and the other ones are on their way. My queen is currently sitting at 43, my warden's at 6, so things are progressing quite nicely for me, I have to say. Champs 3901, it's my highest I've ever had. There we go, there's my trophies, so I won't be dropping those anytime soon. Right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. As always, leave a like, leave a comment, and have a great day. Dev out.